in all of the different classifications. So here we are with a really what we hope and think is going to be a very good game against Raton. And if the Lady Cardinals win, they move on. They're already, in the losers bracket, in the consolation bracket, having lost that game to Rehoboth last Wednesday, that second game they played. So one more loss finishes it. But I just think that gives them a little more motivation to feel really good. Now we're going to start off with the Lady Cardinals up to the plate since they are the visiting team against Raton. And I'll set the field for you in just a moment. But your leadoff batter is number 1, Hallie Jones, playing center field for the Lady Cardinals. And the first pitch comes in.
And it
was a ball. It was low and kind of got away from the catcher. But, of course, first batter up, no problem. And so 1-0. On deck is number 3, Melanie Nieto, the catcher for Eunice. That comes in a little bit low. It was over the plate, but it's a 1-1 count now. And I think I'm going to take my sunglasses off as I'm struggling to see the score bug. We have partial sun, partial shade, so makes it a little difficult. That's going to be high for ball 2. So 2-1 is your count now. And we have number 9, Isabel Pierce, batting in the 3rd slot, playing right field in the hole. Number 25, Peyton Williams, first base, batting 4th. Batting 5th is number 10, Riley Dillard in left field. And that is right down the pike, a call strike to even things up at 2-2 with no outs, nobody on the very beginning of this game, as Hallie Jones looking to get something started, as Eunice Lady Cardinals would love to jump out and get some runs on the board. That's going to be high. So Jones works the walk, as that had been a full count, and she's on first base. And now that brings up Nieto, Pierce on deck, and now Williams in the hole. And the round finishing out is batting 6, number 13, Michaela Pierce, the pitcher. Batting 7th is number 24, Liz Gayton at third base. And there's a call strike on the inside corner. So after working the walk, a runner on first, nobody out, and an 0-1 count on Nieto, the catcher for Eunice. Swing and a miss, bringing the heat. That is Middlebrook in the circle for Raton, and definitely a smoker right at the knees across the outside corner. So 0-2 count. Nieto finds herself quickly behind. A swing and a line drive shot is going to find its way into shallow second. Picking it up is Lemons in center field, throwing it in, but a single puts Nieto on first, and the Lady Cardinals are in business with runners on first and second with no outs, and Isabel Pierce, your right fielder, up to the plate.
Well, and that's going to be the key, is take the pitches that you are given. Raton 15-12 on the season, but they were 10-2 in district. That's how they got into that top 8 seed. So I think maybe they won their district. I'd have to go back and look. I don't think they're in the same district as Estancia.
Okay. Batting 8th for the Lady Cardinals will be number 16, Lorelei Key, who is the designated player. Batting 9th is number 6, Alexa Garcia. No, it's Alea Garcia, who plays second base. Number 11, Leilani Zamora, is your flex player, playing shortstop. And we have a courtesy runner for the catcher for Nieto.
And that's Allison Ruiz.
And that is number 15, Ruiz. So Ruiz will run. The pitchers and catchers getting pretty much automatically if they want. Some pitchers and catchers do their own running, and the first pitch is going to be a smoker across the plate and at the knees. This ump is definitely calling the low end of the strike zone at the knees. So, batters beware, and pitchers need to know that as well. And there's a foul out of play over our heads, and that'll be strike number 2. Now Williams is on deck and Dillard in the hole. No outs. Runners on first and second. Good chance for Eunice to bring runners around and in and get on the board early against Raton. That's what they want to do. And that misses high and away and gets away from Medina behind the plate and will advance the runners as Jones goes to third and Ruiz takes second. And that was, of course, a ball and a wild pitch. Medina got up, got a glove on it, but I would consider that a wild pitch more than a pass ball. So 1-2 the count. Ooh, and that misses as well. This time, however, Medina just lets it hit the backstop right in front of us.
Yeah, got a little spring and came right back out of it.
And I think it hit the bar, actually, one of the crossbars, and bounced right back to her. So the runners stay put. No chance to steal home on that. And 2-2 is your count now on Pierce. That's Middlebrook in the circle, Medina behind the plate. That's your battery. Chatterley at first, Marquez at second, Matamoro at short, Quintana is at third, and that one also gets away, but it bounces out. And with the ricochet, you know, I think it's smart, Coach Kimple keeping his runner Jones on third.
Yeah, with nobody out, there's no need to push the issue right here with a full count now to Pierce at the plate.
Yep, and second full count that has come about. The first one ended up with a walk. So runners on second and third, no outs. And Eunice threatening to score. Swing and a miss. So strikeout number one for Middlebrook and out number one, but Eunice still with runners at second and third in scoring position. And now coming up to the plate is the cleanup batter and hitter, number 25, Peyton Williams.
And Williams hit 3 shots up in Gallup against 2 in the first game against Laguna Acoma, another one against the Rehoboth team. If that field didn't have such weird dimensions, she'd have had 3 home runs in that series.
Beautiful pitch on the outside corner, but I think that Williams just getting a look at that first time probably. I don't know if Raton and Eunice have played each other earlier in this season.
I don't believe they have in softball. I think they did in baseball.
Okay. So 0-1 count on Williams now that she's had a look at it. 1 out, runners on second and third. Ooh, a changeup as Middlebrook took a lot of speed off that, floated it up over the outside corner for call, strike 2. 0-2 the count. If she can find her way on, well, as long as there's no double play, Dillard will be up next, and then Pierce in the hole. There's a hot grounder that gets by the first baseman. Will score 1, will score 2, and a stand-up double, an R2 RBI double for Peyton Williams on an 0-2 count.
Just sat back and she waited on that one as Middlebrook went to that outside fastball once again and just going with what she got right there. Williams sat back on it, drove it out, shot it right down the line past Chatterley. Gigante out and right, didn't get to it until it got all the way to the fence and cashes in Jones and Ruiz, and Eunice takes the early 2-0 lead.
Yes, 2-0 is your score, 1 out, and now a runner on second base. That is Williams out there. Dillard up, and she's a left-handed batter. Hits the first pitch she sees, a pop that Quintana, the third baseman, comes over, moves over to the right toward the dugout and catches for out number 2. So a pop out to position 5 in the books for out number 2. And now it is going to be Michaela Pierce, the pitcher, up to the plate, batting in the 6th slot. 2 outs, 2-0 your score. A runner on second, lots of 2s right now in this game. And that's going to hit the inside corner for a call, strike 1. I decided to go ahead and call that before the ump because I felt that was coming. It was a good pitch as Middlebrook probably a little mad at herself after that 2 RBI double that Peyton Williams got off of her. That's going to miss low. Good job by Medina blocking it out. Otherwise, Pierce out there was, or rather Williams out there was threatening to run. So count now 1-1, 2 outs, a runner on second. Top of the first as Eunice is here to play, and that's going to miss high. It looks like it was Middlebrook was probably planning a changeup, and it just kind of got hung up in her hand just a little bit. Mechanics of that pitch just a little off. So
a little bit wild here in the early going.
Yeah, she's having some control issues. And but a lot of times that happens at the beginning of a game, an important game, some first of game jitters, and strike, swing and a miss. Again, just a middle, not a true changeup, but just a middle speed pitch. So 2-2 is the count now on Michaela Pierce.
Pierce, I think, was looking for just the fastball. Instead, got the riser on that one and swung right underneath it.
So 2-2, 2 outs, looking to keep the line going here and try to keep the scoring going for Eunice. And a swing and a miss. So strikeout, that's out number 3. That's strikeout number 2 for Middlebrook. And Eunice is in business. They put 2 runs across, and they do that on 3 hits. There were no errors and 1 left on base. We go to the bottom of the first inning. Raton up to the plate. We'll be back with more Lady Cardinals State Tournament Softball on Eunice Sports YouTube and HobbsAmerica.com.
Thomas Welding. Precision, strength, reliability. Located at 3529 North Del Paso Hobbs, Thomas Welding is your trusted partner for top quality welding and industrial services. They specialize in carbon and stainless welding, operate an ASME-R stamp code shop, and provide roustabout services, dirt work, equipment rental, sandblasting, and coating. Owned and operated by Justin Thomas, who says we take pride in serving our community and are a proud supporter of Lee County athletics and academics. For expert craftsmanship and dependable service, call Thomas Welding today.
Lasco Construction is a proud partner in education in Lee County. Lasco Construction is your hometown construction company. Lasco Construction encourages you and business owners to support Tatum, Jow, Lovington, Eunice, and Hobbs businesses. Buy as much as you can locally, which is why Lasco Construction always supports the youth of Lee County. Lasco Construction supports you. Call 393-9161 for all your construction needs. Support your community.
For the Lady Cards, they get 2 runs on 2 hits, no errors committed by Raton, and 1 runner left on base. We've played a half inning. Eunice 2, Raton coming to bat, and with the call, Dawn Morgan.
Thank you very much, TJ Miracle here. Lady Cardinal State Tournament Softball on Eunice Sports YouTube and HobbsAmerica.com. Up first for Raton will be number 27, Jay Madoraro, and we apologize.
Jennifer.
Jennifer, okay.
I managed to scribble them all down.
Okay,
so
great. I'll be asking you before I get them in my book. So we were doing different duties, and I'm glad you grabbed the coach only wrote the first initials down for the Raton girls. But Marororo takes a look at the first pitch, and Pierce, putting a soft one over, stays just a little bit high for ball 1. So 1-0 the count. Marororo plays shortstop. Second pitch coming in, and that's going to be low for ball number 2.
And one thing about Pierce in the circle, she's not going to overpower you with anything. She relies on control and movement and spin, but she can get a lot of good pitches in there even without having overwhelming power.
And that is going to be a call strike right at the letters and right over the heart of the plate. So 2-1 the count now as Pierce finds the zone after a couple of balls. She is a right-handed pitcher, a windmill-style pitcher. And that stays high for ball 3. 3-1 the count now as on deck will be number 3.
Paige Lemons.
And there's a foul ball for strike 2. A little kind of one that bounced and hit the plate. So full count now on the first batter up for Raton. Eunice is leading this one 2-0, and that remains high. So Maroraro works a walk and is on first base. Of course, Eunice's first batter up, Hallie Jones, worked the walk and ended up crossing the plate. One of Eunice's 2 runs on the board right now. That brings up Paige Lemons, center fielder for Raton. On deck is number 7, T. Chatterley, first baseman.
That's Tess.
T for Tess. And batting cleanup, number 34, B. Marcus. First pitch is hit. It's out of the yard. It's out of the yard, just like that. Didn't take long for Raton to send one over the fence. And that's going to be a 2-run home run for Lemons, and that ties up this ball game.
And that was actually just a mistake pitch there, I've got to think, from Pierce. It looked like she was trying to throw the riser, only it just kind of sat there and dump trucked. It just sat there and spun and never got any rise. And that let Lemons just absolutely tee off on it and send it over towards Sandia Peak, and we are tied at 2 apiece.
We are. No outs and nobody on, and Chatterley, the first baseman, up to the plate. Marcus is on deck, and there's a hot grounder that finds its way between short and third, goes out all the way to the fence, rolls out all the way. Throw comes into second base, but it's not going to be in time as Chatterley is on with a stand-up double. No outs. And wow, Eunice did well in their first at bat, but Raton is just slugging the cover off the ball so far.
Yeah, they're sitting back waiting on it, and Pierce is she hasn't quite gotten her control down yet, so she hasn't been where she's wanted to be.
So fourth batter up, and that's going to miss just a bit outside for ball one. Not a bad pitch. A lot of spin on it. So 1-0 the count. Number 23, Middlebrook, the pitcher, is up on deck, and number 15, Gigante, the right fielder, is in the hole. The second pitch comes in, a ball as well. So 2-0 the count, and it's difficult to, as a pitcher, to come back after somebody's hit one out of the yard on you and then hit a double, followed that up by a double. But that's a nice pitch. Again, a little bit high, and I think the Raton girls, when they're missing it, they're hitting, they're swinging under it a little bit, and it has some spin. So Pierce may want to keep some of those up high until they really start connecting with the high pitch and slugging it. That was a swing and a miss for strike one.
Outfield has moved back. They were only playing about 3/4 of the way back, and I noticed Jones shading slightly towards the alley left center.
And a walk. So ball four, and that's the second walk issued by Pierce. And now that puts runners at first and second with Middlebrook, the pitcher, up to the plate. Now Gigante on deck, and number 1, A. Marquez, the second baseman, in the hole.
So now Middlebrook, Hayden Middlebrook, it'll be her opportunity as a pitcher to help her own cause here with nobody out and 2 on.
All right. And first pitch is hit. A dribbler. It's back to the circle. And Pierce picks it up, was going to throw to first, but nobody was covering. So Eunice losing their fundamentals just a little bit, mental error, and that could have been an out. It would have moved the runners more than likely, but once Pierce turned around, realized there was nobody covering first to throw to, and turned around to try to throw it to third, the runner was already there.
So do you score that an error? I think you have to almost because
there was nobody.
Because she fielded cleanly, but nobody
she
covering.
Fielded
so
cleanly.
It's an infield single.
It is. I mean, you
got to talk this out sometimes.
Yeah, that's true, and I do the same thing. When we're flying solo, we talk to ourselves out loud, and when we're not, we talk to each other and kind of decide what we're going to do on that. But I would have to call it's a mental error, probably on the second baseman's part or whoever, maybe right fielder. It should have been second base covering first. A fly ball out to right field, getting over it, and is Isabel Pierce making the grab, but it does score one. As that was a nice catch by Pierce in right field, but it allowed, the runners to tag up and move around, and that's going to score Chatterley, who comes in. It moves Marquez over to third, and actually it scored 2.
Nope, just one. V-Hill stays at first.
V-Hill stays at first. Okay.
V-Hill running for Middlebrook.
It was hit over to the right. So all right. And the throw back to the mound to try to catch the runner at third off base.
And it was ball 1 to Avi Marquez at the plate.
Right. So that sac fly, allowed another run in, and now Raton has taken the lead. 1 out. Runners on second and third now. And I believe that missed.
It
I was
did.
waiting to see.
3.
Yeah, 3-0 is the count now.
Pierce
on the
having
batter.
trouble finding the zone here this morning.
So Marquez, consistently, she's had some strikes and found it right there. There's a strike. She found it when she had to on a 3-0. Obviously, the take sign on for Marquez. Now a 3-1 count with 1 out. Runners on second and third. Raton already plating 3, and that is going to fall short and inside, and that's going to put Marquez on first and load the bases. Not the worst thing to happen in this situation, but you're looking. You've got 1 out, and now bases loaded. A force on any base, and a chance for a quick out, hold the runners on, or if double play. There's a swing and a foul off to the left for strike 1 on Quintana. That's number 8. J stands for Jalen Quintana, the third baseman. So 0-1 count on her. 1 out, bases loaded. Bottom of the first inning. Raton has just taken a 3-2 lead over Eunice in a must-win game for Eunice. And that stays high, kind of hung up in Pierce's hand.
Yeah, and this whole tournament is going to be win or go home, as Eunice will have to play through the elimination bracket to get a shot at the Big Blue Trophy.
And that pitch is fouled off to the right. even though Pierce gives it a chase, Williams also going after it. They quickly saw nobody was going to be able to get to that in time, and it simply lands off to the right in foul territory for strike 2. 1-2 the count now. It would be great to try to get these outs at the bottom of the batting order here. Quintana up to the plate, and then Medina is in the hole. A high fly ball headed out to left field. Could be trouble as center fielder Jones came over to try to grab it. Could not get to it. Didn't even get a glove on it. And that scores 1 and moves the runners.
So it'll be a bloop single out to left field.
It's an RBI single by Quintana. And it scores Marquez and then moves everybody around. Then there are 2 Marcuses here. B Marcus and then A Marcus. And there's a little question about
and
an
Kyle
appeal.
Kemple is actually saying that it should have been a force at third. The run's still going to count. Question is, will V. Hill be safe at third, or if she was forced out? Because it should have been a force at third, and she did have to wait to tag because of the fly.
But it was an outfield fly. We'll see. And
Coach
Kemple Coach Kemple is pointing this thing is to the umps, and they're discussing it. We'll see if an extra out, if they go ahead and call the out.
And just a quick note, these 2 teams have actually played. They played in a tournament earlier in the season. Raton winning 13-8. Yes.
Yeah.
And they say safe at third. So
all right, so everything's safe.
Thanks to Ty Friend for reminding me of that.
That Raton had played. I knew that there was a Raton Eunice, like you. I knew there was a Raton Eunice game earlier in the season. We had talked about that and thought it was softball, and you said it was baseball. So I thought, okay, that's
too many
fine.
games and too much research going on.
All right, that's high and outside on this batter.
That'll be Medina, the number 9 hitter.
Yep. I talked about that. Oh, and there's a grounder headed to second base, and it gets by Garcia. It was a little hopper, and that scores 1. It scores 2. Rounding third, it'll score 3, and the throw in will keep the runner at third. So Medina has a 3 RB.
E4, yeah.
Yeah, well, it was. Did she get her glove on it? Okay, I didn't see her get a glove. I knew it was a funny. It was one of those funny bouncers that took a hop, but we'll score at E4.
She will get credit for the first RBI,
but after that, no.
And
and
then it
she
becomes
ends
a
up
two-base
on third.
error.
Yeah, she ends up on third as Middlebrook, or the courtesy runner for her, came in. Marquez came in, and then Quintana as well. So 3 more runs across, and that makes it 6-2. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 7. Yep, I'm yep. I was just counting my squares and saying, yep, that's actually 7 as I catch the score bug up. So 7-2, and Eunice with a timeout wants to talk about it. They've still just got 1 out in this first at bat for Raton.
And now Raton turning it back over to the top of the lineup to Matarono, who worked the walk
and ended up crossing the plate as part of that 2-run home run that Lemons hit right after her. So they batted around, and Mararoro, the shortstop, up to the plate with a runner on third now. 7-2 is your score. And a swing and a hot grounder hits the glove of Gaetan and bounces out to left field. And picking it up, Dillard, she kind of flubbed it as she was picking it up. So really 2 errors on that, on 1 ball. 2 errors.
Because it
did.
Went to second.
It went to it. Gaetan got a glove on it, but knocked it down, but couldn't get it.
So it'll be an RBI error. That's the second one of those. You don't see a lot of them. And now 8-2. And
E5 and E7 there.
Coach Kemple asking for a timeout, and we're going to have a pitching change.
We are. We're going to have, and I think it's it's so early in the game, but they're racking up the runs right now, and you got to try to shut things down and protect yourself from a run rule win by Raton. So we'll take a timeout as we see what changes are afoot and come back with more Lady Cardinals State Tournament Softball on Eunice Sports YouTube and HobbsAmerica.com.
This Pump and Supply has been around for over 30 years and is excited to continue their services to the community. They take pride in their employees and their hard work and dedication, and most importantly, take pride in the youth of Lee County. Eunice Pump and Supply is a proud supporter of all Lee County athletics and academics. Eunice Pump and Supply, 1310 Avenue O in Eunice, another proud supporter of Lee County athletics.
NMR Pipeline is a highly qualified, dedicated company, leading in performance with management and employees who've provided over 45 years of service in pipeline maintenance and construction within the oil and gas industry. NMR Pipeline, 300 South Main in Eunice, or call 394-0144 for more information. Again, 394-0144. NMR Pipeline is proud to be a supporter of all Lee County athletics and academics.
Congratulations, students and student athletes of Lee County. R360 congratulates all Jow, Eunice, Hobbs, Lovington, Tatum, and the surrounding high schools, and wishes the best of luck to our student athletes competing this week in state playoffs. Right now is more important than ever to recognize positive achievements in our communities. Join R360 in saluting our amazing Lee County students. This community message is brought to you by...
And welcome back. Out of the pitching change, Blevins is in the circle now for Eunice, taking over for Pierce as the score is now 8-2. And we're still just in the bottom of the first inning. And Raton has batted around. So number 3, Paige Lemons at the plate, and that is inside. And that's ball number 2. So still just one out. And Lemons is the one who hit the 2-run home run her first time up at the plate. This is her second plate appearance, and that misses high as well. So
Blevins, Blevins, Nieto, they are your battery. Williams still at first. Jones moves to second.
And Zamora still at short. Gaetan still at third. Dillard in left, but Pierce moved to center field. And then Isabel Pierce is still in right.
I think that is right.
We think that is right. And that misses, so a walk is going to put Lemons on first. Marrero is on second.
And the 4th walk of the inning, and you're getting back to the heart of the order with Chatterley, who had that shot double out to left center last time up.
She did, and then she crossed the plate as well. Marquez is on deck. A little chopper is going to go right up the middle and out to center field. Pierce is on it, makes a good throw in, but not in time to catch the runner at home plate. So that will score 1. And that was Marrero coming in from second base. Lemons ends up on third, and Chatterley has an RBI single.
So the line just keeps moving here for Raton.
It's kind of a nightmare at bat for at least for Eunice. It's a dream at bat for Raton, as they're just trying to get as many runs as they can and while their engine's hot.
Yeah, now 9 on the board here and just 1 out and still runners on.
Yep, and
the cleanup hitter Marquez to the plate.
And then that's followed by Middlebrook and Gigante. And that's another ball.
4 walks issued this inning, 3 by the starter Pierce and then 1 by Blevins.
No strikeouts for them. High fly ball headed out to right field. And nope, it is not caught. It goes and hits the bottom of the fence.
And
it bounces over. It'll be a ground rule double, and it will score 1, but the other runners will simply advance 1 base.
Actually, they're going to.
Are they going to say?
Nope,
yeah, it is. It's a ground rule double.
Right.
And so that is Marcus who gets the ground rule double and an RBI.
Because it looked for a second like they were pointing the Chatterley at third home, but then they said, no, it is the ground rule double. So,
right,
okay.
So it's but it is 9-2. 1, 2, and check that. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10.
And now ball 1 to Middlebrook at the plate.
Yep, 1-0, and still just 1 out. So yikes.
10-2, yowza.
Yeah. 1 out, runners on second and third. There's a high fly ball. It could be trouble. It is going to drop in shallow right and will score 1. So that's going to be an RBI single for Middlebrook. An RBI single, and Chatterley crosses the plate, and Marquez will go to third.
Now Villa will come in to run once again for Middlebrook as Gigante comes up. She's the only out, and it was a sacrifice, so it was what they would call a productive out.
Yeah, it was. It was a long fly ball out in right field, and it was a nice catch out there by Isabel Pierce for that. Still, only 1 out, and now 4, 6, 8, 10, and it is 11-2. There's a pitch. Looked like it might have been on the inside corner at the letters, but I think it was a call ball.
Yep,
yeah,
a
just
little
a
bit
little
high.
high.
As V-Hill moves on down to second.
Yep, no throw. And there's a foul ball, a smoker down the right side of the field past the Eunice dugout for strike one. So 1-1 the count, 1 out. Yep, 1-1 the count, 1 out. Runners on second and third for Raton. They have played at 11 in their first at-bat here in the bottom of the first. And that's going to be right over the plate and just right at the letters for a call, strike two. So 1-2 the count. Marquez, that's A Marquez. The A stands for?
It's actually Gigante.
Oh, okay. Yes,
that'll
but
be
Marcus
ball
is
two.
on. Yeah, Marcus is on deck.
Avesh is the name.
And it is what?
Avesh.
Avesh. Okay. Yeah, I'm sort of finishing my book as we do this as well. And that's going to miss high and outside for ball two. So 2-2 the count.
Of course, here at the state
Avesh
tournament,
Marquez is up on deck, and then Jalen Quintana is in the hole. Just 1 out. Swing and a foul out of play off to the right, although good hustle by Williams from first and Nieto behind the plate. But it goes behind the screen. Count will remain 2-2. You were saying, TJ?
I was going to say, we got on, the lineups didn't come in until very late. Thanks to Coach Kemple and Coach Pierce, by the way. They got it to us quickly.
Eunice came in
but
quickly.
Very limited space and only one power outlet that we had to wait to get to.
And that is going to be another foul out of play right over our heads. Luckily, we've got a little porch over us, and
so we were at the first pitch, basically getting on, because then, of course, our camera decided to die right as we started, and so that.
Well, and
it's just been one of those days.
It has
for
been.
us and for Eunice.
Tournament.
So far.
This is how the tournaments always are. So, and that misses. That was ball 4 for a walk, and now bases are loaded again. Not such a bad thing for Eunice.
And it was a good pitch there by Blevins, too.
Just
it actually had a little
bit.
backdoor cut on it
and
a
lot
came
of
in on the right-hander Gigante.
A lot of the Eunice faithful thought that it should have been a strike. You might have heard them arguing in the stands here behind us. So this brings up Marquez, and it was a strike, a call strike. So that was a second walk, I believe. Let's see, 1, 2, issued by Blevins, since she came in relief of Pierce in the circle. So 1 out, 1-1 count, and that misses high and inside for ball 2. So 2-1. The 1 out, bases are loaded. It is still the bottom of the first inning. You are seeing things correctly on your screen, 11-2. And a ground ball is going to find its way just past the shortstop, although she laid out, tried to get it. The throw comes into the plate, not in time, and then the catcher throws down to third, not in time. So that is not an error, as the shortstop, Zamora, really tried to get that and could not. But Pierce came in and made the stop and made a pretty good throw in, but everybody had too much of a jump. So it does score 2, and so it's going to be a 2 RBI single as Marquez is on first base.
And now the officials are having a discussion, so not sure what they're talking about out there.
Yeah, I don't know.
It was on the ground, so there was no tag out necessary.
I think they're wondering if it was runner interference, because there was the runner from second who was headed for third, and it was not intentional. She was just running, and the ball skipped to the side of Zamora, who was trying to see it. I think the runner may have screened it out, but I don't.
Neither coach complained about it. So.
I don't know, but the coaches don't have to complain for the ump to see something that they think, well, maybe we should talk about this and see if there's a call that's warranted.
And they're going
to
say,
they're going to call runner interference. Yep. So there you go. So now 2 outs, and that means
now Coach Barksdale is going to go over and do some barking.
Right. Now that means that runner actually, the runner had already scored. From third, the run had already scored. 1 run scored. But the runner from second to third, I think 2, they're going to call 2.
No, they're going to.
Wow. They're going to say 1 run did not score because of that. And they're going to send 1. No runner scored? Oh, okay. Is out. The runner from second is the one out. Okay. All right. So no RBI single. That's going to be fielder's choice for Marquez. And, oh, boy. There were bases loaded. Yeah, there were bases. We have the home plate ump coming back here, talking to the official scorekeeper and trying to, and they're going to say no runner scored. They're going to call the runner who was going from second to third. I think one run should score. Because there was no impediment from the runner on third. Bases were loaded. The
one
third
run should have
one
scored.
run should score. The runner from third coming home should be fine. The runner going from second to third is out.
Yeah, Marquez should have scored.
Yeah.
Vigil would be out.
Yes.
Gigante would be back at second. And then you would have Marquez at
Gigante
first.
and Marquez at first. So runners at first and second. One run does score.
So it'll be a 1 RBI.
It should be. And Raton, there was already a run scored.
There is a run scored.
There is a run scored there.
You
and
will
yes,
take the run off the board
and
for
Raton is arguing that, saying, remember, guys, that run,
and there was
that run
bases loaded,
you can't call that run not good because it had nothing to do with the runner interference from second to third. So that run counts. Should score. That's bizarre.
one run, not two scored.
Yeah, one run, not two. So it is 13-2. 13-2, right? It's 13-2.
As now Quintana, the first one will miss, and it gets away.
Yeah, the pitch by Blevins is low, and it's a pass ball, and it does score
and
the run
score
from
Marcus,
third.
So now it's 13-2.
Now it's 13-2, right? Just one run.
So now
exactly.
It's 13-2
now
because
it's
they put Marquez back at third, which was bizarre.
Yeah, it is. This is a very confusing situation. These kinds of things only happen in tournaments, right?
Yeah.
This is exactly the kind of thing that will happen to you in a tournament. So 2 outs, only the 1 run. So Raton is still arguing there should be another run. I think they have a good case on that. I think they do. But the umps have made their decision, and we're not going back. If this were a tight game, it would be a lot more important at this point. It could become important later on. We'll see. And a swing and a foul.
So Quintana had the green light on a
3-0
count.
count. So not.
And she
earlier.
reached last time. She had a single to right.
And then she scored. She crossed the plate. So now it's a 3-1 count to this batter. 2 outs. 13-2. And there's another low ball that's going to get past, and nobody covering home plate, as Nieto goes back for it and turns around to throw, but there's nobody at home.
So
that's
twice
going to
nobody's
score.
covered, and
Yeah,
now
once
the
at
home
first
plate umpire
and
going to go
once
talk.
at home. Yeah.
I think he may say
run
has to go back.
Yeah,
because it was a dead ball. But as soon as the ball got past the catcher, it was not a dead ball.
No,
that ball is in play.
That's right.
Even though it's a free pass to first for Quintana, the run should be able to come in and score.
Yes, except that was not a foul ball at all.
No, it was not. It was a walk.
It was a walk.
It was a walk and a wild pitch.
It was a walk and the catcher.
And this umpire
that was a ground ball.
They're going to put her back at third.
Yeah, that's wild. That was not a wild pitch. I think that was a pass ball. The catcher, it was right to her on the ground, and she got a glove on it. So
they're going to put her back at third, and now bases
are loaded, and this pitch is going to be a call strike.
So that's 2 runs that have been wiped off, and then this has been insane.
Yeah, it is. So this is Medina up at the plate. Is that right? Number 26. Yes. This is Medina batting in the 9th slot. And that is going to miss high and away for ball number 1.
Ball 2.
2-0 is the count now as I catch the score bug up.
Yeah,
as
everything is goofy.
Yeah, as we catch our score books up. And everything is fine. Oh, swing and a line drive shot out to shallow center will score 1. Moving around, the throw coming in, and it's not in time as it'll score 2. And that's going to be a 2 RBI single. There's a line drive shot, solid shot by Medina out to center field. So a 2 RBI single. She's on first. And a runner, the Quintana, who was on first, goes to second.
Now it should be 14-2.
Yes, and now that's
scored. And they've batted completely around twice.
Right. Now. So that one was, and there are 2 outs at least, and another pitch gets away, but the runners stay put this time. And so that was Marcus finally crossed after reaching on the fielder's choice.
Just a total nightmare inning for Eunice.
Crazy, and our books are just so wild and crazy. And there's a line drive shot out to left field, picked up by Dillard. She's going to throw in, but a run will score, and that's going to be an RBI single, and they moved over as Mararoro moved over to second on the throw in. So an RBI single, she moves over to second on the throw. So she's sitting at second. Quintana is at third, actually Quintana scored, and Medina is at third. First pitch is picked up, hit, and it goes to shortstop. Zamora knocks it down, throws to first, not in time, and then the throw comes into home, not in time to get the runner.
So it'll be an RBI single, an infield single to Lemons, who beats out the throw, and then on the play at first, that scores Matarino, and so the bleeding continues as now Chatterley back to the plate. She's 2 for 2.
And the first pitch comes in. It's hit a high fly ball headed out to shallow right as Pierce comes in on it. Can't get there in time, and that is going to be a single for Chatterley, and Lemons moves over to third. So now runners at the corners. And wow, just the hits just keep coming. And now I'm going to catch up the score bug too. 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14.
And the first pitch swung on, and that one will be out of play on the right side by Marquez.
That's going to be a foul ball out of play for strike one. And again, wow. Crazy, crazy. That's going to be a foul. It's going to stay in play, but that'll be strike 2. And double checking, because I didn't wipe off a couple of lines.
17.
That's right.
17
okay.
to 2.
And I wanted to make sure. Yeah, I'm hearing that from both sides. And there is another foul.
No. Oh.
Yeah, it was a foul.
Okay, she got a piece of it. Okay.
Yeah, she got enough of it. They had to send the runner back to third. Lemons wanted to come in. But the ump said, nope, it was a foul. So count remains with 2 strikes on Marquez. Marquez had a ground rule double and scored, and walked and scored her other 2 plate appearances in this at-bat. This is
a nightmare inning.
It is. This is the longest at-bat I've called of all the softball this year. And I think
last year
maybe
some Hobbs Clovis.
I've called some high-scoring games this season, and teams that batted around a couple of times, but this has been more than this is 2+.
Yeah,
and
we're 2.5 times.
Yeah, and a high ball inside on Marquez with Middlebrook on deck, Gigante in the hole. That is going to miss inside.
I believe that runs the count full.
Yeah, that is full count now. So 3-2, 2 outs.
Has a timeout on the field while Blevins has to get something out of the cleats.
Right, 17-2, a 15-run advantage for Raton against the Eunice Lady Cardinals here.
Which means Eunice has some work to do if they don't want this to be a very short game.
Yeah, because it's 15 runs after 3. 10 after 5. There's a foul down the third baseline over to the Raton dugout.
So.
Yeah.
Of course, today's game brought to you in part by New Mexico Junior College, Parker Energy, Eunice Pump and Supply, Lasco Construction, IPS Incorporated, and Outlaw Grill.
Yeah, we're staying so long in this at bat that's no chance out, and that is going to advance. Yep, it's an RBI walk for Marquez, an RBI walk, and that will make it 18-2. As coming in, Lemons crosses the plate.
Actually, no RBI on that because it was a wild pitch and there was a pass ball.
Yeah, it's a pass ball, yeah.
So second was open. So
all right.
Still another run scores as going to have some more discussion out on the mound here as Eunice still trying to figure out a way. They've got to find 1 out. They got a sack back in the first go-around, then a runner interference in the second, and we're more than halfway through the third go-around here in the first inning. It has just been a disastrous inning.
And it's got to feel terrible out in field when you know.
Oh, and this is the state tournament, too.
Yes, exactly. Now you've got 2 outs. That's the thing to remember here if you're Eunice. 2 outs. All you got to do is try to worry and get one more out and get out of this nightmare. Get in the dugout and maybe get your bats going again. Eunice put 2 across in their first at bat, top of the first. We haven't even played 1 full inning of this game yet. There's a strike on the inside corner. Nice work. So 0-1 count. And Marquez is on deck, Quintana in the hole, but Eunice would like to shut things down right here with this batter. That hits the outside corner for a call, strike 2.
So you've got Chatterley at third, Marquez at second, Vigil running at first.
For Middlebrook, the pitcher. And a swing and a foul. No, she made contact with it. But they're going to say it's out. I know she missed it. I think she made contact. I think that was pretty clear that she made contact with it. But I think it's fine that happened. So a strikeout ends that. And finally, 3 outs, but not before Raton puts 18
runs on the
across.
board.
It's 18-2. And we'll be back. Top of the second inning coming up. More Lady Cardinals State Tournament softball on the way on Eunice Sports YouTube and HobbsAmerica.com.
To take the next step in your education?
Look no further than New Mexico Junior College.
Whether you're just starting out or aiming to advance your career, NMJC offers top-notch programs in so many different fields.
With small class sizes and dedicated instructors, you'll get the personal attention you deserve.
Plus, our campus is equipped with state-of-the-art facilities and resources to support your learning journey.
Visit us online at nmjc.edu or stop by our campus to discover why NMJC is a smart choice for your education.
BTH Services and Rentals LLC is proud to support the Eunice Cardinals. They wish all the young athletes an incredible season and send a special shout out to the class of 2025 seniors. Congratulations on this milestone. Go Big Red.
And welcome back.
Go ahead.
Well, let's just go ahead and get right into it. I'll run down the inning in a minute.
All right. We do have, it's top of the second inning, as there were 18 runs on 12 hits, 3 errors, 3 left on in that bottom of the first inning. And now Eunice Lady Cardinals up to the plate, and it is 7-8-9 due up for them. The score is 18-2, Raton leading, and that misses high and inside.
For ball 2. And so Gaitan, Key, and Garcia. And actually that will be Blevins hitting for Garcia now.
And that misses high and away as well. So 3-0 the count on Gaitan.
So now all Eunice has
and Blevins is batting
hitting in the 9th slot.
In the 9th slot for Garcia, right. And there's a strike. So Blevins, good job as
Gaitan definitely having the take sign on there with the 3-0
but
pitch.
Middlebrook found the zone when she had to after throwing 3 straight balls. Swing and a line drive shot out to shallow right field. Gigante comes in on it, but it's going to be a hit for Gaitan, and she's on with a single on first base. So, again, worked a 3-1 count until she found one that she could swat and send out. It was kind of a soft line drive, not really a Texas leaguer, more of a line drive that just kind of dived and dove in front of the right fielder. Now that brings up Lorelei Key, the designated player. So she is batting only, swing and a miss as a heater across the outside corner, kind of a riser, and Key swinging a little bit late and under that.
If you're Eunice here, you need base runners. You're down by a whole bunch, by 16 runs, and you don't want this to end in 3, so you've got to have base runners.
High and inside for a ball.
Base runners get some of those things back, and then see if you can just put last inning behind you and play it from here.
That's all you can do is just, you got out of it. It's time to try to forget it. Try to get as many runs across as you can in this at-bat. And they know they can because they put 2 on in their first at-bat. And that stays up high as well, although Raton faithful thought that it rose in the zone, that it was a riser, and clipped the letters.
And that first inning taken almost an hour to play.
That is
20
nuts.
Combined runs.
And, of course, that's
18 of them for the team in black and gold.
That runs the other games, long, that'll be coming up on this field. There you go, another as that was a call strike.
Yep, so 2-2 count.
Yep, it's even with no outs, a runner on first. Eunice trailing by 16, and they want to put runs across and get out of the danger of having a 15-run rule after 3. And it would be really just 2.5 because Eunice is the visiting team, and they would have the top of the third if they don't put enough runs across to get them out of that danger here. So a full count now, 3-2, no outs, a runner on first, and that's going to miss. Pretty good pitch. Raton also thought it might have clipped the inside corner, but the ump says a walk, and it's going to be runners on first and second now. So that's going to bring up the bottom of the order. It's Blevins who is going to be hitting in place of Garcia in the 9th slot, and then we'll turn the lineup over again back to the top. So no outs, runners on first and second. Blevins hits the first pitch she sees, a high fly ball headed out to right field. Gigante comes under it, makes the catch, and then a great throw over to third. Not in time to get Gaitan, who tagged up and was able to make it to third, and the runner and Key. All right, so Blevins actually stays at first, and
Actually,
the runs,
Key at first.
Key is at first, rather. Yeah, Key is at first. Sorry about that.
And now Jones, who walked.
Right, Jones walked and scored her first time up. It's her second plate appearance, and that misses low and inside for ball 1. So 1 out now after the fly out. And Jones trying to bring runs in. Oh, and that hits her. And that's going to load the bases. So a hit by pitch, the first one of this game. Jones takes her base, and Key will go to second. And that's going to bring up Nieto to the plate, the catcher. That's number 3, Melanie Nieto.
And now Coach Barksdale going to come out and have a word with Middlebrook
Right.
in the circle while we have a moment. Big thanks to Thomas Welding, also Redbird Gas Company, Eunice Schools, and R360 helping make Lady Cardinals State Tournament softball possible.
Yeah, we played an hour, but because the at-bat took so long for Raton, we haven't had a chance to play a lot of the sponsors, you know. So, yeah, just at least mentioning them and remember, you do see the banners, even though we're not able to show the game because of the video rights that we do not own for the state tournament. So we can at least show you the score and give you a look at all of the supporters, the banners of those sponsors that we're mentioning throughout the game and playing their their spots. Normally by this time in the game, we'd be through 3 innings of it. Yeah, everybody we would have heard from all those sponsors. So it's a good stuff. Out of the timeout, probably just to settle. There was no change. Middlebrook is still in the circle for Raton. And Nieto at the plate now. Swing and a fly ball headed out to shallow third. Oh, left field as Marquez comes in on it. Just a highlight reel catch. Credit where credit's due as that robs Nieto of a little Texas leaguer.
She was in full sprint mode, and that one looked like it was going to fall, and she flipped
put
the
her
glove over
out
and put it basically on her shoelaces.
Yeah, it was a what I call a shoestring catch for sure. Without Sometimes players will go ahead and do a somersault, you know, after catching that.
Made me want to do a somersault just watching it.
She was able to keep it in her glove.
And ball 1 to Pierce at the plate.
Yep, Pierce hitting in the 3rd slot. Struck out her last time up, so 0 for 1. And ball 2. 1 out, 2 outs now after that very good catch. Of course, it robbed Nieto. Fly out to position 7 for out number 2. And Pierce catching a piece of that for a strike. As she was a little bit in front of that ball, but she hit just under it and spun it back to the screen for a strike 1.
Of course, don't forget, coming up tomorrow, 12:30 here on Eunice Sports YouTube, we'll have the Eunice Cardinal baseball game, as they'll also play Raton
That
tomorrow.
hits the outside corner at the knees for strike 2. Not a smoking, hot pitch, a middle speed pitch, but a lot of control on that to hit the outside corner. So 2-2's the count, and 2 outs. A lot of twos right now. 2-2, and that's high for ball 3. So now a full count on Pierce, trying to get a 2-out rally going and extend this because bases are loaded.
Yeah, you don't want to leave them that
No,
way.
that's right. Bases loaded, and Eunice needs some runs out of the deal. There's ball 4, and it is a walk. That's going to put Pierce on first. That's going to walk in Gaetan and move all the runners around. So Jones, who got hit by a pitch at second, Pierce on first, and that makes the score 18-3 now. Still 2 outs, and now Peyton Williams, the first baseman and the cleanup hitter for Eunice, up to bat. She had a 2 RBI double and got stranded her first time up. This is her second plate appearance. And there was the ump, I think, was talking about either a bat out of the dugout or something happening
he was
down
pointing
there.
Down at the dugout for something.
Okay.
I didn't see what he was pointing at.
The pitch was not completed. First pitch is going to be high on Peyton Williams. 1-0 count.
Eunice now back down to just a 15-run deficit.
That's right. 18-3 is the score, as
And
I mentioned before.
Williams can cut into this with one swing of the bat.
She takes a healthy swing, but it fouled off back to the screen, so 1-1 count. Now Eunice 2 strikes away from missing a chance to bring some runners in, but Peyton Williams is the cleanup hitter for a reason here, and a very capable hitter. She actually had the second hit by Eunice in this game after Nieto had hit a single in the first inning. And that misses low and inside for ball 2. And I think that's a fair catch. The Raton faithful thinking that it hit the corner, but from our vantage point, we are sitting right behind, just and slightly to the right behind the plate, and we have a very good eye on what is left and right. The plate is the ump needs to clean the plate off. That left corner is obscured by dirt right now. Raton not able to see that really was inside. So 3-1. And that misses inside and puts Williams on base, and that's another walk-in run as well. 18-4 now as Key comes in. Jones.
So that gets it under the 15-run rule, at least for the moment.
And that's back-to-back walks.
4th walk issued by Middlebrook.
And that loads, keeps the bases loaded. And that brings up Dillard, the left fielder, to the plate. She popped out to the third baseman her last time up. Swing and a miss. 4 strike 1. Again, 2 outs.
Got to wait for the good pitches as Dillard chased one that probably would have been out of the zone high. Just getting a little anxious there.
And that misses outside for ball 1. Dillard, left-handed hitter. If she can find her way on, Michaela Pierce is on deck, and then Gaetan in the hole, and that would put Eunice batting around. But Eunice has to get through this batter as well. The swing and a miss for strike 2. So 2 outs, 0-2 count, and bases loaded. So Raton trying to get out of a jam here. Middlebrook trying to pitch herself out of a jam, as they've still got a big 14-run lead right now. That misses low and away as well. So I think that's actually 2-2. Yep, 2-2. It's a beautiful day here in Albuquerque. Oh, and that misses and gets away from Medina, and the throw to the plate is not in time, as it's sliding in safely is Jones on the wild pitch or pass ball.
Wild pitch.
I think it was a wild pitch as well. So wild pitch puts Jones and moves all the runners.
So now 18-5. Eunice,
as they're creeping up, they're closing the gap.
and a full
Batter
count to
by
Dillard
batter.
at the plate.
Yeah, it is 3-2 now after that low pitch. low and away. It got away. There's a swing and a foul back to the screen as Dillard stays alive at the plate, fighting off one. She's got to protect the plate, try to connect with one if she can hit, or at least spoil them off if she can't. And the catcher, Medina, going down to get a word from the coach, I think Barsdale. Is it Barksdale?
Barksdale.
Barksdale. I couldn't read his writing. And a high pop fly. Medina going under it, and she can't gauge it and can't catch that. So the count remains full. Dillard, she dodges a bullet there.
Yep, fought off a pretty good pitch and managed
I thought Medina
to not have a good read on that
thought
one.
Medina was going to get it. She threw her mask off right away, and it actually hit right around the batters, the warm-up circle over there toward the Raton dugout off to the left. And again, Dillard, left-handed batter. Runners on second and third here. 18-5 your score. We're in the top of the second. There's a hit, but caught by Marquez. A little line drive over to the second baseman. So a little line out to position 4 for out number 3 ends the at-bat for Eunice, but not before they plate 3. They put 3 runs across, and now the score is 18-5. Yeah, we came in at 18-2.
Yep.
So 18-5 is your score, and we'll be back with the bottom of the second inning. More Lady Cardinals State softball action on Eunice Sports YouTube and HobbsAmerica.com.
Proud supporters of all Lee County athletics and academics.
Eunice Public Schools empower students to soar by providing exceptional educational experiences in a safe and nurturing environment. The entire Eunice community comes together to champion sports and academics, fostering a spirit of collaboration and friendly competition. Eunice is a vibrant small town with a strong sense of community and academic excellence where everyone thrives. Eunice Public Schools, prioritizing student success, cultivating meaningful relationships, and striving for academic excellence to transform lives and unlock limitless potential.
3 runs on just a hit, no errors committed, and 2 runners left on for Eunice in their half of the second. We go to the bottom of the second. Eunice still a big hole to dig out of with the call. Dawn Morgan.
Thank you very much, TJ Miracle. Lady Cardinals State Tournament action here, and it is Raton coming up to the plate. Bottom of the order, 7, 8, 9 due up with, that is Aveche Marquez up to the plate. First pitch is going to be a ball. And that misses low and inside, so an outside, a low and outside, a low and inside. 2-0 the count. Quintana is on deck and Medina in the hole, as this is just the second at bat for Raton. They're leading 18-5. And a throw down to second to try to get the runner in a hot box, but scrambling
and then
back.
an error as Williams can't come up with it.
Well, the throw, it was kind of half and half. Was the throw was a little tricky.
Actually, that's Marquez over at first.
Marquez
Did we
at
miss?
first.
They must have intentionally walked her.
I think.
I don't know.
They did.
It was an intentional walk.
Okay.
So it's ball 3 to Quintana at the plate.
Yeah, and so 3-0 count, but Marquez is the runner on first who scrambled back. And that misses outside. So ball 3, a runner on first. And a foul off, out of play, off to the right beyond the Eunice dugout for a strike.
So Quintana having the green light at
Sure.
3-0.
Medina on deck. And Quintana, by the way, was involved in some of that mess of the runner interference and so forth. There's swing and a miss and a throw down to first to keep Marquez on it. So now the count is full. So 3-2 the count on Quintana.
Yeah,
Medina awaits on deck, and then back to the top of the order, Marororo. So yeah, Quintana reached and scored, but it was during all that melee in that first at bat. And that misses inside and gets away from the catcher, Nieto.
And I thought that was ball 4, but
I guess it was ball 3. I thought it was too. I thought the count had been full. And the umps coming out, I think there was maybe a bit of a question about that. I think the second base ump thought maybe that was true too.
So now I guess the count is full.
Now it is full. And a runner on second. Little pop up, could be trouble. It is going to fall in as it's in shallow between right and center, and it is going to score a run. And then sliding in safely is going to be Quintana, who hit it. That's an RBI single as Marquez comes in, and she went to second on the throw. So an RBI single, and then she moves to second. She's in scoring position. Quintana scored all the way around, and that puts up another run across.
And the first pitchman to Medina's in for strike one.
And Medina, the catcher, had a 2 RBI single and scored, reached on an error and scored in her first at bat.
And there's 3 RBIs to go with it.
Yep, and that is going to get away from Nieto, and that's going to allow Marquez to go over to third. And that wasn't even a pass
actually
ball.
Quintana over to third.
Yes, that really wasn't even a pass ball. It's just she just lost it in the dirt, and came up with it. It was not a wild pitch. It was a pass ball, and that gets away from her and sliding safely from home. Oh, wow. Sliding safely in for another run.
Well, on the bright side, it clears the bases.
Well, that's true.
But it gets it back to a 15-run lead for Raton. And my guess is Raton's probably going to try and build this to around a 20-run lead. That way they've got 5 runs to play with, top 3.
That is number 26, Medina, still at the plate. And that misses outside for 2-1 count. Yep. And 2 runs across, so it's 20-5 now with no outs. This is just the bottom of the second inning. And there's a walk, as that was 4 balls. And
I think we missed
wow.
a pitch. I think somebody missed a pitch somewhere, but probably me.
So, yeah, I was about to say that it had been 2-2 when you mentioned 2-1, but and there is a call strike. So top of the order, Marororo up. Shortstop, she had an RBI single and scored. She reached on an error and scored. No, she had an RBI, moved around on errors, and she walked and scored.
Actually,
and
yeah, with the error, she got an
yep,
RBI.
She got an RBI.
Sack, but
yeah, and I wrote it down as an RBI. So, yep, she had the RBI. And that's going to move.
that
the
whole
ball,
first inning is just
yeah,
a
it's
disaster
crazy.
on
Yeah,
at least on my book.
The books are just, they're just crazy trying to keep up with all that. And that walk, Medina, is on second now.
And now we got a balk.
Oh, boy.
Oh, nope, they called time before.
Okay, good. That's a good thing. So, no outs. And that's high. So now that is 2 balls, right?
Should be.
All
Should
right.
be 2-1.
That's right. No outs, a runner on second now, and that is low, and Nieto having trouble finding the handle on it, and that's going to allow.
And they're going to give her the base, so it must have been ball 3.
So Medina moves over to third as Nieto was trying to pick that up out of the dirt.
I'll admit I can miss a pitch every now and then, but I don't think I've missed this many. Now Lemons to the plate, who had the dinger.
Yeah, she had an RBI single and scored her last time up, walked and scored, and then her first plate appearance, she had a 2-run home run. She was responsible for putting the first 2 runs on the board for Raton. And there's a high fly ball headed out to right field. Pierce comes under it, makes the grab, and throws in, but it will score 1 as the tag up on third puts Medina across the plate. And 21-5 now, but at least Lemons with the fly out. It's a sac fly, RBI, and 1 out.
And now Tess Chatterley, who's 3 for 3 with 2 runs scored and an RBI.
A line drive shot out to center field, and it's caught as a nice catch by Pierce out there in center field, and she throws into second, makes a good play. And that's going to be out number 2. So a line drive shot, really a fly out to center field for out number 2. And that keeps Marororo on first. So 21-5, your score.
And now the home plate umpire is asking for time.
Raton started this at bat. The score was 18-5. They have plated 3. It is 21-5. a timeout to check with the ump.
They
They're at
were
first base for something. I don't know.
repositioning.
High fly ball headed out to right field. Pierce drifts over to her left to make the grab, holds on to it. So a fly out to position 9 for out number 3, and that ends the at-bat for Raton, but not before they plate 3 runs. So your score, 21-5, and we're going to go to the top of the 3rd inning. We'll be back with more Lady Cardinals State Tournament softball on Eunice Sports YouTube and HobbsAmerica.com.
Outlaw Grill, the perfect spot for family dinners and date nights. Craving something extraordinary? Outlaw Grill serves up delicious fire-grilled steaks, fresh seafood, and authentic Italian pasta. Flavors you won't find anywhere else. Dine in or call ahead for a quick and easy gourmet meal in Hobbs, 575-392-2012, or the Eunice location, 575-942-2466. Proudly supporting Lee County athletics and academics, Outlaw Grill is your go-to for great food and community spirit. Come taste the difference at Outlaw Grill today. When you want the job done right, trust the professionals at DNC Electric for all your electrician's needs. DNC Electric does oil well installations, battery installations, power lines, automation electric motor repairs, transformer repair, and so much more. When you want a reliable, dependable electrician for all your commercial and industrial services, call DNC Electric 492-0044, 575-492-0044.
For Raton, they get 3 runs on 1 hit, no errors, and they leave 1 stranded. We head to the 3rd do-or-die time for the Lady Cards.
That's
Here's
right.
Dawn Morgan.
They trail by 16 runs right now, so if they've got to put enough on so that they're not behind by 15 or more at the end of this at bat. Otherwise, the game would be over. And it's the bottom of the order. It's 6, 7, 8, and that is fouled off to the right to the screen for a strike. And that is Michaela Pierce leading things off, trying to get something going for Eunice, as this game has not gone anywhere near the way that Eunice wanted it to. There is a shot, a line drive shot. I thought it was going to fall in shallow right field, but Marquez, the second baseman, drifted back and caught that. She leaned back and caught it at the end of her glove and hung on to it. There have been a couple of pretty sensational catches and plays in this game, and some good catches by Eunice in the outfield as well. But that is out number 1. So now Eunice girls are down to their 2 outs to try to get some runs in and across, and that first pitch to Gaetan is going to be high for ball 1.
And the key here, make Middlebrook pitch to you. She's walked 4 Lady Cardinals. She's had a little trouble finding the zone. Make her pitch to you.
Gaetan hit a single and scored her first time up, and that is going to be a call strike on the outside corner. So
wow, and there's
Eunice,
some wows going on around.
Eunice faithful not liking that at all. 1-1 to Gaetan. That is right down the pike. So no question about that one. 1-2 the count now after Gaetan Key is on deck and then Blevins in the hole.
21-5.
So 1 out, nobody on. That misses. That's low. Raton wanted a strike out of it, but I think that was well below the zone. So 2-2 the count. Gaetan with one of the, let's see, one of only
3 hits
for
Eunice.
Eunice. Yeah, I was looking at my books, finding that third one just as you said that. So, and that misses for, I believe, ball 3. This should be a full count.
Yeah, should be.
Now on Gaetan, yeah.
I don't know.
3.
The count's something.
And that's going to miss. Raton wanted that inside corner call and didn't get it as Gaetan works the walk and is on first base.
5th
1
walk
out.
for Middlebrook.
Yep, and she's had 2 strikeouts to go with those 5 walks. Now that brings up number 16, Lorelei Key, your designated player, to the plate. 1 out, 1 on. Blevins on deck, and then top of the order to Jones. That misses.
And Key last time up, as you mentioned, working the walk, scoring a run, and again, make Middlebrook pitch to you.
Yeah, she's been she's been inconsistent with her pitches, but when she hits the zone, she does. And this ump is not calling the inside corner, and that is not a
He's been
it's not
consistent
yeah,
with it.
he's been consistent with not calling that. So as long as you know what to expect as a batter and as a pitcher, you're okay. And so he's been a little more generous with the outside corner and calling that outside corner, but his zone is pretty strict, both high and low and side to side. Again, that's fine. That is a strike at the top of the zone.
And Coach Kemple playing the numbers there and
That's
putting
right.
the take sign on for Key.
And didn't work out this time, but you do. You play the percentages. A lot of coaches will do that. Sometimes they give their hitters a green light. Swing and a miss. And that runs the count full. 1 out, 1 on. As Eunice trailing by 6 here in the top of the 3rd inning, needing to get this back down to less than, being behind by less than 15. And that misses low, and that's back-to-back walks as Gaitan goes to 3rd, Key on 1st, and still just 1 out. Blevins to the plate. She had a fly out to right field her first time up. This is just her 2nd plate appearance.
Well, now you've got the continuation run on the base paths. As timeout is the umpire going to go over. I'm not sure what the discussion's going to be here. She's going down to the first base coach's box. Talk to Coach Pierce down there.
Actually 21-5. That's 6 runs ahead. So they would need all of these runs to score.
A courtesy runner. That's Lexi Garcia in to run for Key.
All right, Garcia in for Key.
So
Thank you.
getting some speed, extra speed out on the base paths.
Right, trying to. That's goal number 1, just to keep the game going for Eunice. They want to get enough runs across to keep the game going, but they're going to have 4 to keep it going. 3 would put it back to 15 runs exactly. There's a chopper over to second base, and the toss to second gets the runner. Oh, and they turn the double play. Wow. I thought that runner on first was safe, but yeah, there's the toss. So it was 4-6 to get the runner, to 3. 4-6 to 3 for the double play, and that ends the game. Wow. So that's it. 21-5 ends up being your final score here with a double play in the top of the 3rd by Raton to end Eunice's run in the state tournament. And we'll be back to go ahead and wrap this one up, as that was quickly. It went from 1 out to 3 outs in the top of the 3rd inning. 21-5, your final score. We'll be back for the wrap after we hear from more of our sponsors for Lady Cardinals state softball action.
Broadway.
Parker Energy, family owned and operated since 2006. Their team is known for their hard work and dedication, big enough to meet your needs for transport, pump trucks, vacuum trucks, and disposal services. Parker Energy and their staff are huge supporters of all Lee County sports and academics. They encourage their young adults to go the extra mile, whether it's sports, grades, or just being a better you. Parker Energy Support Services, 2350 Avenue O, a proud supporter.
And welcome back to Lady Cardinal State Softball. We've had a surprising development here as the coach, Eunice coach, appealed that out, that second out on the double play. The first out will stand. The toss from 4-3 to get the 4-6 to get the lead runner, not the lead runner, but the runner going to second. And that was the second out. But they called the second half of that double play safe. So the runner will reach on fielder's choice, and that will put Hallie Jones top of the order at the plate.
So Eunice catching a break right there.
So Blevins reaches on the fielder's choice, and Jones now up to the plate with runners at the corners for Eunice. So we have to go back. I have to back off that still top of the 3rd inning, but now only 2 outs. And runners at the corners for Eunice.
And a 1-0 count to Jones at the plate.
Yep, 1-0 with Nieto on deck and Pierce in the hole. If they get that far, and there's a call strike on the inside corner. And just at the knees, or above the knees. As Jones was hit by a pitch and scored her last time up, walked and scored her first time up. This is her 3rd plate appearance, and a swing and a miss. And now Eunice down to their last strike.
And a very anxious swing there. You've got to just take a deep breath, slow the heart rate down. I know, much easier said than done.
Yeah, easy for us to watch and talk about that. That is going to miss a little inside. Raton wanting the call, but I think that was a little low and inside. So that is going to bring it even 2-2. If Jones can find her way on, though, Nieto up to the plate. And Pierce in the hole, 21-5 is your score here. And that misses high for ball 3 as Middlebrook, I don't know if she was deliberately throwing up a change up and it just hung up a little high or what. I think she was trying to get Jones to chase, and she saw she was anxious on her former swing, and that is going to miss low and outside, and that is going to allow Jones to work a walk. And Eunice is still alive in this one as Nieto comes to the plate. And now bases are loaded. That is Gaetan over there on third. That is Blevins on second. And that's Jones on first after the walk. So 2 outs, bases loaded. First pitch is in. It is a ball. And I think, again, you can only do so much when you've got, until she gets 2 strikes on her and she has to protect the plate. I think she tries to go ahead and make Middlebrook pitch to her. Eunice may get lucky and get a walk or 2 in.
Yeah, I mean, there was a couple of walks last inning.
Exactly.
Cashed in a couple of runs.
So 2-0 the count now as the pressure's on Middlebrook to find the zone. And that misses high as well. 3-0 count. You got to think the take sign's on for Nieto now. Pierce on deck and Williams in the hole if Eunice can keep it moving and keep it going this long. So 3-0 count, bases loaded, 2 outs, 21-5 is your score. Raton leading by 16 here in the top of the 3rd inning. Ooh, that's a call strike on the outside corner. And Middlebrook finds the zone when she needs to. So 3-1 the count now. Eunice with 2 strikes. That is going to miss low. And there's a walk, and that's going to walk in a run. So 21-6 now. And the bases stay loaded.
And that is the 8th walk issued by Middlebrook.
Yeah, it's 6, 7, 8, 2. Still just the 2 strikeouts for her in the game as well. Isabella Pierce, the right fielder, she's seen some action out there and made some good catches in right field and good plays as Pierce in center. Michaela has as well. And the outfielders have been busy with this one because Raton they're a team of sluggers for sure. Now, a little timeout, little talk in the circle. Are we going to have a pitching change?
Yes, we are.
Yes, we are. We are. So with the pitching change, we'll figure it out and take a timeout and come back with more Lady Cardinals state softball action coming up on Eunice Sports YouTube and HobbsAmerica.com.
Lee County Athletics. Guns Up Services is a proud supporter of their Eunice community and their Eunice Cardinals. Guns Up Services has been in business almost 14 years and is family owned and operated, located at 2105 Avenue O in Eunice. They're your trusted vacuum truck, winch truck, frac tanks, rental equipment, and dirt work provider. Guns Up Services in Eunice wants to cheer on number 9, Elijah, and number 15, Maddox, wishing them good luck this sports season.
And a pitching change here in the top of the 3rd inning as Middlebrook comes out, and I believe that is Vigil.
Quintana.
No, Quintana. That's it's not 18, it's number 8. So 8 Quintana, and they just switch places in the field.
And actually Vigil goes to 3rd.
And that pitch is going to hit the outside corner for a strike. So Isabel Pierce, your batter. And that is low. Ball 2. I believe 2-1 is the count. So
We'll go with that.
yeah. So bases loaded and a chance for Eunice to keep things going, and a little ground ball is going to find its way. An error by the shortstop. The shortstop comes over as Marararo gets it and then flubs it. She had time to go with, all she had to do was go tag third and get to the runner heading to third for the third out, but she drops the ball, and she actually flubbed it twice. So an error.
And it'll score a run, and
Yep,
so we will see a bottom of the third.
We will. It's 21-7 now is your score. Still 2 outs, and bases still loaded, but it did put one across.
So Eunice taking advantage of the reverse call.
Yeah, that was Gaetan. And there's a long, well-hit ball out to left field, goes almost to the fence. It scores 1, it scores 2, and the throw in. So 2 more cross the plate, 21-9 now, as the pitching change may not have been a good thing for Raton, as Eunice is lacing into the balls and hitting the first pitch they see when they stand up. So now we have runners on second and third as Peyton Williams. Isabella Pierce got on base.
She's at third.
Yep.
Williams at second.
Yep.
Now Dillard to the plate, and she takes the first pitch, slow roller.
And it goes to short, and there's an error by their shortstop as Matamoro cannot hang on to it, and that's going to score a run. And that puts Dillard on. It's an error.
And so Eunice is batted around now as Pierce back to the plate. That's Michaela.
And 21-10 is the score, 21-10 now. And now runners at the corners. And that pitch, and it hits her. So Michaela Pierce is hit by pitch and will take first base. All right.
Now Liz Gaitan to the plate. Gaitan walked and scored earlier this inning.
Yes.
Eunice trying to claw back from their nightmare and give
done,
one to Raton.
They've done this with 2 outs, and now bases are loaded, and the first pitch comes in, and it's a ball. So Gaitan at the plate again, trying to just extend Eunice's time here, and that pitch is a call strike as Eunice was one out away, and
at
1 inch, 1 out, a couple of errors, a strike away, and that hits the outside of the plate as well. At least Eunice knows that if they go down without scoring any more runs, they still are alive in this game. And that is going to miss, as it comes across kind of a lazy drop ball, but it does not drop through the zone.
And so things even up at 2 balls and 2 strikes.
2-2 with 2 outs, and bases are loaded here. And that stays high as well. 3-2, full count now. Bases loaded, two outs. And a chance for Eunice to continue to eat into this big lead by Raton. Swing and a grounder and a little toss. Oh, and the errors keep mounting up for Raton as the toss is, there is the third baseman there, but didn't grab the ball. The toss just was dropped. I don't know if she wasn't looking or what. She tossed
nobody there.
Well, she was standing there and coming to the bag, but she didn't put her glove out or anything to try to get the ball. And so
it's going to cash 3 runs in.
It will. 3 runs end up coming in, and now the wheels coming off for Raton, and Eunice able to put 3 across as Williams scores, Dillard scores, Pierce scores, and Gaetan makes it all the way around to third. There were 3.
So that clears the bases
21-13. No, there's a runner on third.
As Coach Barksdale is now, I think, questioning his maybe decision to change pitchers.
To change pitchers, and maybe he's going to move that back, or maybe he's just giving him a pet talk and saying, hey, 1 more out and you can get out of this.
And really 1 more inch, and they could have been out of this game.
That is amazing.
And now Eunice is clawed back to within 7.
Everybody thought this game was over, but an appeal on the second half of a double play, an appeal by Eunice turned it turned the game around for Eunice, and then the pitching change that Raton made really turned the game around. Eunice has been slugging, and now we're waiting to find out what the umpires are all talking to each other. There is a question about something, an appeal, I believe, by Raton's coach about something. So let's see if the home plate ump talks to us at all about this. No, everything on the field stands. So apparently there were questions, maybe an appeal, but 2 outs, a runner on third, and the pitch comes in, and it is low for ball 1. And this is now at bat. Is Lorelei Key? Is Lorelei Key? Do we have? Are you sure that's Lorelei? I just want to make sure. I can't see her because of the umpire, and I wanted to check the number. Yeah, it's number 16. And 2-0 count on her. So a runner on third. 21-13 is the score that I have. And there's a strike. And a runner on third. That is Raton over there. As we had already said the game was over before, and that misses just outside.
Is that something that really Raton has had trouble with, finding the strike zone?
They have. And
pitchers,
then
8
errors,
walks and a hit batter, and now 3 errors this inning.
In the field, yeah. I mean, and there were errors, and that is a swing and a miss, dropped ball, but it's just strike 2. So I believe full count now.
It doesn't get away far enough for Medina for Raton to come in.
Raton still sticking on third. Coach Kimple over there in the coach's box at third base. So runner still on third, full count. And that is going to miss inside. And that allows Key to get on base with a walk. That's the 3rd walk that she has drawn in this game. And she bats in the 8th slot in the lineup.
And so now it'll be Blevins back to the plate, reached on the fielder's choice and was almost doubled up. But that 1 inch
has
made this a whole new ball game.
She had a fly out earlier as well. So fielder's choice and a fly out high, pop fly. Pitcher calls for it. Vigil makes the grab, and then Raton is able to finally shut this down, but Eunice was able to put runs across enough. They put 8 runs across, and they are still alive. So they were in danger of getting a run rule. The 15 run after 3 rule was in effect, but they got enough runs in this to stay alive. And we will continue this game and go to the bottom of the 3rd coming up. Raton coming up to the plate. We'll be back with more Lady Cardinals state softball action.
Supporter of all Lee County athletics.
Bart Parker, owner of Redbird LP Gas Company, and his employees are proud of their Eunice Cardinals. Bart, class of 1971, state champions of both basketball and baseball, support the kids with their academics and athletics. They realize that balancing both is challenging and appreciate their determination. Redbird knows the Eunice Cardinals have worked really hard to get where they're at, and they are cheering them on all the way. Bart and his crew say, "Go Eunice Cardinals!"
For Eunice, they get the line moving. They score 8 runs on just 1 hit, 3 errors committed by Raton, and they leave a couple out on the base paths. So we go to the bottom of the 3rd as Eunice stays alive, and with the call, here's Dawn Morgan.
All right, thank you very much. This has been one of the oddest games I have ever called. Yeah, but you leave it to the state tournament. Things happen in tournament play and in the playoffs that you don't see all year. There's a ground ball over to first. Williams knocks it down and then steps on first for a quick first out. So 3 unassisted, and that was Vigil batting right, number 18, as she went in to pitch in the circle for Middlebrook. So Vigil with a 3 unassisted, 1 out, nobody on, and Gigante up to the plate.
Ball 1.
And Marquez is on deck, Quintana in the hole. So 1-0 count, 1 out, bottom of the 3rd inning, 21-13. And there is a line drive shot. It goes out to left field. Dillard on it, makes a nice stop and a throw in to hold Gigante to just a single. She hit the first pitch that she saw. So a single out to left field, and she's on base. So Marquez now on deck, and Marquez had an RBI single and scored. reached on a fielder's choice and scored, and walked and scored. Swing and a high fly ball. Somebody needs to call it. Pierce in center does call for it. Makes the grab, a pop out to position 8 for out number 2. And now 2 outs and 1 runner on with Quintana. That's Jalen Quintana, number 8, coming up to the plate. And she fouls that off over toward the Raton dugout for strike number 1.
And here's the interesting note. At one point, Eunice was way down, in danger of the 15-run rule. Now they've gotten it back to 8 runs.
Yeah, they trail by 8. And there is a fly ball, could be trouble. It is going to drop in between right and center field, and it's going to be a stand-up double, and it is going to actually score as the throw comes in, and it's handled just in a very lackadaisical, kind of lazy manner, and that allows Raton, the base of Marororo, to...
Actually, that was Gigante.
Oh, no, I mean
that scored.
Gigante that scored. Sorry, my bad. Yes, that was Gigante who had reached on the single. And she went all the way around, so 22-13 now. And that brings up
Medina.
Yeah, that is number 26, Medina, the catcher, and she fouls off a ball out of play, so it's a strike. So that now we have a runner on that Quintana on second with that RBI double, and that was a strike as well. So 0-2. So Raton has managed to get one of those runs back. And there it is. Call strike 3 on the outside corner. And Medina goes down looking as that ends the threat by Raton, but not before they do plate a run, and they still have the lead. And they do have the lead. At least now it's 9 runs instead of the 16 that they had earlier. And we are going to go to the top of the 4th inning, and Eunice with a little momentum coming to the plate. We'll be back with more Eunice Lady Cardinals State softball action.
Precision, strength, reliability. Located at 3529 North Del Paso Hubs, Thomas Welding is your trusted partner for top quality welding and industrial services. They specialize in carbon and stainless welding, operate an ASME R stamp code shop, and provide roustabout services, dirt work, equipment rental, sandblasting, and coating. Owned and operated by Justin Thomas, who says we take pride in serving our community and are a proud supporter of Lee County athletics and academics. For expert craftsmanship and dependable service, call Thomas Welding today.
Lasco Construction is a proud partner in education in Lee County. Lasco Construction is your hometown construction company. Lasco Construction encourages you and business owners to support Tatum, Jow, Lovington, Eunice, and Hobbs businesses. Buy as much as you can locally, which is why Lasco Construction always supports the youth of Lee County. Lasco Construction supports you. Call 393-9161 for all your construction needs. Support your community.
For Raton, they get a run on a couple of hits. No errors committed by Eunice, and 1 runner left on. We head to the top of the 4th. Eunice still alive with the call. Dawn Morgan.
And it is going to be, let's see, bottom of the order?
Top of the order, Hallie
Top
Jones.
of the order, okay.
And
Hallie Jones, 1, 2, 3. It is Jones, Nieto, and Pierce up to the plate. Yeah, number 1. Hallie Jones.
I think it's Haley, actually.
It's do you think that she says Haley? It's Hallie. So not Hallie, but Haley. Or maybe that's an I. It just maybe the coach's handwriting. Maybe it's Hailie. And if that's the case, it would be Haley. But it goes down to the coach's handwriting. It just depends. And that is going to float in for a ball. Jones up at the plate to try to start things off as Eunice is trailing by 9. Swing and a miss. So 2 strikes on her now.
And so far, Quintana in the circle seems to be a little more settled in to start this inning. She was all over the place when she came in relief.
And the throw is in time as it's 5-3 in the books.
And Coach Pierce is going to argue about it over there in the first base coach's box. He tells Jones, put yourself on first and stay.
Wow.
And the home plate umpire
so
says, nope, it'll be an out.
The first base ump is calling for the home plate to go and have a look at it, have a talk about it.
Of course, it was an appeal
because
a minute
it
ago
was
that
that
kept this
kept the
game
game
alive.
open. Yeah, it kept it open on a double play, the second part of a double play that was appealed. We had already, the teams were shaking hands across the field and saying that it was wrong, and so the call will stand. So 5-3 in the books on a ground out by Jones.
6-3.
6-3, sorry.
And Coach
6-3
Kemple going to come over
on
now.
shortstop, and that's why. Yeah, now I
he's
know.
going to discuss it.
And we've just got, and the home plate ump is showing the reach and saying that, All right, so it's
We've had a little bit of
okay.
everything in
this
this game.
It has been sort of wild and just crazy. All right, so 1 out.
And the first pitch to Nieto inside.
So ball 1, 1-0 count, 1 out, nobody on. Pierce is now on deck. That's Isabel Pierce on deck, and Williams in the hole. A swing and a miss. So that'll even things up, 1-1. And let's see.
It'll be high.
Yep. I was waiting to see. He kind of moved his arm like I thought he might make a late call on that. 2-1 the count. As Nieto walked and scored her last time up, had a fly out and singled and scored. There's a high fly ball going out to center field. Coming back on it is Lemons making the grab for out number 2. So a fly out to position 8 for out number 2. And Pierce up to bat. Pierce reached on an error and scored, walked and got stranded and struck out. Her first 3 plate appearances.
And has an RBI to her credit, too. Had an RBI on the walk.
Right. Yeah, that's true. The RBI walk. And that's going to be a ball to Isabel Pierce. 2 outs, nobody on. Here we are, top of the 4th inning. Your score is 22-13. And that hits that's definitely a call strike as it falls through the zone. Kind of a drop ball with not much speed on it. Swing and a long fly. That's going to be a hit out to deep left field. It'll hit the fence. Going out to chase is Marquez and making a throw in, but it's a stand-up double for Isabel Pierce as 2 outs. But, Eunice was able to do a lot of damage, get a lot of runs across in their last at-bat with 2 outs. So they'd like to do that again here, but 2 outs, a runner on second, and Peyton Williams to the plate. She scored, reached and scored her last time up, walked, got stranded, hit a 2 RBI double and got stranded.
And actually has 5 RBIs total in the game.
Yeah, and hits the first pitch she sees. And is it out of the park? It is, as that is out of the park, leaves the yard, and it is a 2-run home run for Peyton Williams. A 2-run homer brings in Pierce from second. And that gives 2 more runs for Eunice, 22-15, and now they're behind only by 7 runs.
And that's 7 RBIs for Peyton Williams in the ball game.
And the ump is calling for the
more
game balls to
balls.
come through, right? A lot of balls hit out to the outfield, a couple of them over the park. There was also, let's see, who?
A whole bunch of fouls, a whole bunch of
whole bunch of, as there was a Lemons hit a 2-run home run for Raton in the first inning, and now a 2-run home run for Eunice. Still 2 outs. And Dillard is coming to the plate. Dillard and then Michaela Pierce and then Gaetan. As those balls are coming in, so the home plate ump can repopulate his pouch. He's got a couple of extra in there now, plus the game ball that Raton's pitcher in the circle has. Dillard, a left-handed batter. She swats the first one. It's a ground ball to second base. She makes the throw over to first, and that's it. 4-3 for the 3rd out. And Eunice is able to put a couple of runs across. They do it on a 2-run blast by Peyton Williams. And the score? Well, your score is 22-15, and we'll be back with the bottom of the 4th inning. More Lady Cardinals State softball action coming up.
Eunice Pump and Supply has been around for over 30 years and is excited to continue their services to the community. They take pride in their employees and their hard work and dedication, and most importantly, take pride in the youth of Lee County. Eunice Pump and Supply is a proud supporter of all Lee County athletics and academics. Eunice Pump and Supply, 1310 Avenue O in Eunice, another proud supporter of Lee County athletics.
For the Eunice Lady Cardinals, they put 2 runs up on 2 hits, no errors, and nobody left on base. So we head to the bottom of the 4th. This one's becoming more of a ball game, and with the call, here's Dawn Morgan.
Thank you, TJ Miracle. It is Raton, top of the order for them coming up to the plate as well. And it's going to be Mararoro, Oraro, Lemons, and Chatterley. That is Blevin still in the circle for Eunice, and that is going to roll across for ball number 1. So 1-0, bottom of the 4th. And Mararoro, let's see, she walked and got stranded her last time up. RBI single and scored, RBI and scored, and a walk and scored.
Couple RBIs to her credit, too.
Yeah, so I said RBIs.
Oh, okay,
yeah.
I'm sorry.
That comes in a little bit high. It was over the plate, but high. Lemons on deck, Chatterley in the hole as Raton wants to stretch things back out. They're a team of sluggers, and that gets away, but nobody on base, so no problem. Nieto gets away from her, a low ball coming in. So that's 3-1 is the count, I believe. And that is going to miss outside. That was a 3-2 full count. Walk has Raton in business here with a runner on.
8th walk issued by Eunice pitching. So both of these teams' pitchers having all kinds of heck finding the zone.
Absolutely.
9 walks issued by Raton.
And a lot of walks walked in.
And yeah.
A lot of runs walked in, that is. So Lemons up to the plate. Sac fly RBI her last time up. RBI single, a walk and a score, and a 2-run home run. And that gets past Nieto and is going to move the runner over to second.
But
nope, she's got to come back out. They're going to say it was a foul, I guess.
I'm going to say she showed bunt and fouled it off. Yep.
Okay. So it's actually going to end up being a strike.
She just hit a 2-run dinger earlier in the game, and they've got her bunting.
Right.
I think I let her swing away here, but
all right, no
there's
outs.
a reason I sit here.
No routes and a runner on first. And that misses, and Nieto just can't find it in the dirt. And the ump really needs to clean off home plate, I believe. I can't see it at all. It's obliterated by sand. So.
But these are the finest facilities in the state.
Well, it would be okay if they just need to clean it off. If the ump maybe can see it from where he is, but I'm not sure the pitcher can see the plate, and I'm not sure anybody else can.
It's that little depression right between what's left of the lines.
Yeah.
It's draw your own plate night tonight here in Albuquerque.
And that hits the outside corner, we guess. we
the
guess.
Raton faithful groaning because.
Oh boy. So, no outs, a runner on first. And a swing and a ground, it's a foul down the third base line. So, still 2 strikes. I believe it's 2-2 though.
I think so.
Runner on first.
They have an electronic scoreboard at this field, but they're not using it.
It's the only field that they have the electronic scoreboard. Oh, there's a line drive shot out to center field. Pierce will move on it and throw it in. And a good play out there to hold it to a single as Marararo moves over to second, and Lemons is on with a single. No outs, runners on first and second now. And so my score bug decides to flake out on me. All right.
It's been one of those games.
Jeez. So Chatterley up to bat now. Chatterley with a line drive fly out to center field her last time up. Single and got stranded. RBI single and scored. A double and scored. A hot smoker, grounder going out to right field, and the runner coming around will score. So 1 run across as Marararo scores all the way From second, Lemons moves over to third, and it's an RBI single for Chatterley. And no outs, and now 23-15. And that's going to bring up Marquez to the plate. Fly out, a walk and got stranded, ground rule double and scored, a walk and a scored, and the throw back to the circle to try to sucker Chatterley, or rather Lemons, off of third base. It did not work, and that's going to be Chatterley reaching second. So no outs, runners on second and third. Marcus to the plate. That's going to miss outside for ball number 1. How long has this game been going on now?
We are at the 2-hour mark right now.
Wow, and we are in the bottom of the 4th inning.
Because we started on time.
That's going to hit the top of the zone for a call strike.
I have already extended the time out on the stream
broadcast,
a couple
right?
of times.
Wow.
So
yeah.
normally they plan on these games taking 90 minutes, and we're at the over 2-hour mark now.
That's going to miss outside. So if Marquez finds a way on, that means Vigil is on deck. Gigante in the hole for Raton. No outs. And that hits her. I was going to say that's inside. It was inside. So inside, it's a hit by pitch. Now that's the first hit by pitch for Blevins.
It is.
And that is going to load the bases. So bases loaded, no outs. Vigil to the plate. And that hits the zone. It was a good pitch to throw, a good pitch to hit, but it went to
And actually, they're going to put Middlebrook back in to hit again. So.
Oh, okay. So Middlebrook, that's hard to tell.
She had a couple of singles in this game before she got
swing
pulled.
And a high fly ball out to left field. Coming under it is Dillard. She makes the grab, makes the throw, but it will score 1 as Lemons tags up and makes it home. So it's a sac fly RBI for Middlebrook. Yeah, and thank you for pointing that out. The batter is obscured by the ump, and I didn't see her come in. So a sac fly RBI for out number 1, but it does score a run, and it will. The runners are at first and second now. So Marquez. There's a grounder over to short, and it's flubbed, so it'll be an error by Zamora, and everybody's safe, and that loads the bases. So Gigante reaches on the error.
And that'll be the
on the
fourth
E6.
error for Eunice.
But that does put, let's see, Chatterley is on third, Mark is on second, Gigante on first, and Marquez is at the plate. That's a different Marquez, of course, Aveche Marquez, and that hits the top of the zone, floats in for a call strike. So 1 out, an 0-1 count, bases loaded, and let's see, I don't think I adjusted the score bug. I think it's 24-15, is that
23,
right?
and now
still 23.
24.
Okay, 24.
Another hit by a pitch.
Right, HBP in the book. And that brings a runner home. So yeah, I had moved. I just didn't think that I had counted that last one that came across. So now, yes, 24-15, back up to a 9-run lead by Raton, and bases loaded. And that is going to miss. It's going to go back to the screen, and it will score a run. The toss to the plate as Blevins covers is not in time, and that's going to score Marquez from third. Marquez reached on a hit by pitch. And on the wild pitch?
Yep, wild
pitch scores the run and moves all the runners over.
So now Gigante at third, Marquez at second, and that almost hit Quintana at the plate.
So Quintana is going to have a 2-0 count on her now. So 2-0, 1 out, runners on second and third.
And now it is back to a 10-point lead, a 10-run lead,
25-15, right, 25-15 with that hit by pitch. Line drive shot out to center field. Michaela Pierce dives for it, but can't get it. It goes past her, goes to the fence, a run in, and the 2 runs cross the plate. So, and it was not an error as Pierce
2 RBI double.
2 RBI double because Pierce tried to get that. Man, she threw her body out trying to get it, and it went past her. So a 2 RBI double makes it 27-15, and that brought in Gigante and Marquez
And the
And
first pitch is
Quintana,
behind
yep,
Medina for ball one.
Quintana is on second base, and the bottom of the order now batting in the ninth slot. Medina up to the plate. Still one out. And there's a grounder headed to shortstop. Picked up, thrown over, 6-3. But it does move the runner over to third. 6-3 for the second. Was that? Yeah,
Yep.
second out. I was going to say, I thought I heard Raton saying, that's it. And I was like, no, it's second. It's just a second out. But now Raton has batted around. So we go back up to the top of the order, and there's a little hit. A dribbler is going to roll foul and be a strike. So it was a swinging bunt, as I call them, because it wasn't a true bunt. It was just a little bloop that I thought was.
Wise move there by
yeah,
Nieto just
to let it go because it rolled because they would have hit. If she touched it in fair territory, there'd have been no play.
And it would have scored that run probably.
Exactly. So just becomes a strike. As Marararo up to the plate, and that's going to miss high and outside for a ball. Lemons on deck and Chatterley in the hole. As yes, once again, Raton has batted around here in the bottom of the fourth inning.
Feels like it should be more later than the fourth inning.
I keep double checking, thinking, wow, it's really
when you've got
it's still
42
4.
runs on the board combined.
Yeah.
It's a football game score, 27-15.
Man, crazy. All right, then. So 2-1 count. High fly ball headed out to center field. Pierce coming under it, makes the grab, the catch, and the out. So Marararo, a fly out to center field for out number 3. And Eunice gets to go back to the dugout, but not before. It was a healthy scoring inning for Raton. 2, 4, 6 runs across, and we'll be back with more Lady Cardinals State Tournament softball action on Eunice Sports YouTube and HobbsAmerica.com.
NMR Pipeline is a highly qualified, dedicated company, leading in performance with management and employees who've provided over 45 years of service in pipeline maintenance and construction within the oil and gas industry. NMR Pipeline, 300 South Main in Eunice, or call 394-0144 for more information. Again, 394-0144. NMR Pipeline is proud to be a supporter of all Lee County athletics and academics.
For Raton, they get 6 runs on 3 hits. Eunice commits an error and 1 runner left on. Do or die time again as we head to the 5th for the Lady Cardinals.
And here we go. Lady Cardinals up to the plate. They've got some work to do. They trail 28-15. It's a 13-run deficit for them, but they have had some healthy scoring innings of their own. And it is the middle of the order. Pierce, it's 6, 7, and 8. There's a swing and a miss by Michaela Pierce. So Pierce, Gaetan, and Garcia. Well, Key. If Garcia has batted in place of Key, Key may come back in. There's a high fly ball out to left field. Coming up under it is Marquez, who makes the grab. So a fly out, a well-hit ball, well-struck ball by Pierce. Thought it was going to drop in for a hit, but a good catch by Marquez robs her. A fly out to position 7 for out number 1. And that means that Gaetan is up to the plate. Gaetan with a walk and a score, a single and a score. And that she hits a ground ball that makes its way out to right field. Coming up under it is Gigante out there, makes the throw in, but it'll be a single for Gaetan.
Yeah, I got it out there. Chatterley tried to come over and cross over, but just not quite enough reach there to get that on the backhand, so went under and around her glove. So Eunice with a runner at first, and now it'll be Key back to the plate.
Key, the designated player. That's going to run high and inside for ball number 1. So 1-0 count, 1 out. A runner on first for Eunice. And that hits the ground. It's going to get away from Medina, and it's going to allow Gaetan to reach second base and put her in scoring position. So 2 balls. Let's see, Key has walked every plate appearance. Now, I think Garcia actually batted for her once. But she still.
Actually, Garcia came in to run.
She just ran. She didn't bat. Okay. I've got her in parentheses, so you're right. She was a courtesy runner. So Key has walked every time she's been to the plate in this game. And that is going to hit the outside corner for a call strike.
And that'll be called strike 3.
That's it, and strike out for out number 2.
Third K of the ball game for the Raton Lady Tiger pitching staff.
3, 6, at least 8 walks. I may have
9.
9. Yeah, I was going to say I think I may have missed one, and there's another error at short. But the throw is in time, and then they get the throw goes over to
Doesn't matter.
third,
They
but
didn't
it
need to
doesn't
throw to
matter.
third.
I know that's the third
play.
out was at first base, and it was they did call him. They did call that.
I don't know. Is Gaitan going to come in and they're going to say
there were 2 outs.
There were 2 outs. That should have been out number 3, unfortunately, to Garcia.
That strikeout. That if
the strikeout was out. The
put
flyout was
yeah,
out
the
1.
the flyout.
The strikeout was out 2.
Exactly. There was a
Garcia
flyout, a
grounding out
strikeout,
6-4,
and then
or 6-3.
as long as they called her out
yeah, that
with
should
that
have been.
throw,
Hold
that
on,
was
let's
the third out. No, 3. 3 outs. There was a fly out to left field. There was a strikeout, and then that was a put out. That was the third. That was the third
put
out.
I hate it for Eunice, but the put out's the third out.
The strike. There was a fly out.
Michaela Pierce flew out. Yes.
Key struck out.
Uh-huh.
Key struck out. That was the second out, and then the put out, the throw out from the throw
shortstop.
out from the 6-3 by that batter. Yeah, it didn't matter. That was the third out. They threw the batter out at first.
So we're getting a free out of this, I think.
That is wild.
Well, and now they're putting Blevins at the plate. So, okay. So there was not a strikeout.
There was not a strikeout?
The ground out was Key.
Okay,
not
so
Blevins.
that was just
6-4 was the ground
6-4 was
out.
the ground out, but Blevins.
But then they're going to say Liz Gaitan scores in
this
all
is
of the
crazy.
melee. And so
and
now it's
between
28-16.
Between the coaches and the umps, and then
yeah, so 28-16 our scores.
All
Gaitan
right.
scores in the mess.
Gaitan is able to come home. She hit a single, and then made it to second base, and then made it around, and now
it's Blevins.
You have Blevins to the plate with 2 outs.
Yes.
And Blevins. And there's a call strike on the inside corner.
This has just been maybe the most confusing game in the history of
there
softball.
There have been so many just wild, crazy things. And I think I didn't understand what the official scorekeeper over here was talking about. So I'll have to tell him that what he was asking about. I think we were answering a question that wasn't asked about who was doing what. There's a hit. Oh no, stopped by the second baseman and thrown over as Marquez. I didn't think she was going to get to that. That was hit straight up the middle. Marquez was able to move over and stop it and then throw across her body over to first on a good play that robbed Eunice of an out there. So 4-3 in the books for out number 3, but Eunice was able to score 1 run, and so it's
But that's the end of the game.
That is the end of the game because 28-16, it's a 10-run rule after 5.
Yes.
So we almost had an end of game with a 15-run rule at the end of 3, but that didn't work. So wow, Eunice stayed alive, but then they end up falling 28-16, your final score in this one. And we'll be back with a wrap in just a moment with more Lady Cardinals state softball action coming up.
Congratulations, students and student athletes of Lee County. R360 congratulates all Jow, Eunice, Hobbs, Lovington, Tatum, and the surrounding high schools, and wishes the best of luck to our student athletes competing this week in state playoffs. Right now is more important than ever to recognize positive achievements in our communities. Join R360 in saluting our amazing Lee County students. This community message is brought to you by R360.
Are you ready to take the next step in your education?
Look no further than New Mexico Junior College.
Whether you're just starting out or aiming to advance your career, NMJC offers top-notch programs in so many different fields.
With small class sizes and dedicated instructors, you'll get the personal attention you deserve.
Plus, our campus is equipped with state-of-the-art facilities and resources to support your learning journey.
Visit us online at nmjc.edu or stop by our campus to discover why NMJC is a smart choice for your education.
BTH Services and Rentals LLC is proud to support the Eunice Cardinals. They wish all the young athletes an incredible season and send a special shout out to the class of 2025 seniors. Congratulations on this milestone. Go Big Red! BTH Services and Rentals, proud supporters of all Lee County athletics and academics.
Wow, Lady Cardinals state softball action on Eunice Sports YouTube and HobbsAmerica.com. The final score in this one, 28-16. It's the 10-run rule after 5 that gets Eunice in this one, as once the 3 outs on their top of the 5th at-bat was over, so was the game. And with the wrap-up, here's TJ Miracle.
Thank you very much, Dawn. Our final line score in this one, and this is the darndest line score I think I've ever seen. For Raton, they are victorious. They get 28 runs on 18 hits. They commit 3 errors, and they leave 6 runners on base. For Eunice, they get 16 runs on 7 hits.
Yeah.
They commit 4 errors, and they leave 5 runners on the base pass, too. So Eunice will finish their season up at 14-14, a 500 season, and one that, even though didn't come out the way Eunice wanted it to, is maybe the wildest game I can remember maybe ever in a state tournament, for sure.
To their credit, they never gave up. They got down. They got on the board first, and then they got down with that, just never ending at bat in the bottom of the first. And but they never gave up. They came out. They kept swimming. They kept scoring runs. They took advantage of some weaknesses and some errors. They rattled Raton, took advantage of some of that, and came back from the game being declared over, and then it stayed alive on appeal on the second out of a double play, and then they were able to come back and really score a lot of runs. It looked like they may do the impossible and come back from it all. So good job, and a long season for them. Well done, and unfortunately it comes to an end here at the hands of Raton in the States tournament here on this Wednesday. Beautiful day for it. This ended up being the last game on this field, so it just was crazy. It ended up with being about a 2.5-hour game.
2 hours and 12 minutes.
Oh boy, yeah. Took a while, and that was just for 4.5 innings.
4.5 innings.
4.5 innings.
Of course, we're not done here at the state tournament. Tomorrow we will continue at softball 4A as the Lovington Lady Cats take on Artesia. I love we get to come up here to play Artesia. That'll be on Lovington Sports YouTube, HobbsAmerica.com. And the Eunice boys are still alive, the number 1 seed in the 2A baseball tournament.
Right.
They'll be taking on Raton's boys tomorrow from the whatever it's called Sports Kindness Complex out halfway to Gallup.
I think it's the Reardon. I think it's the
Jennifer Riordan Sports.
Is it Riordan or Reardon?
Sports,
Kindness.
Sparks, something.
Kindness Complex.
Complex,
right.
yeah.
Okay.
But we'll have that at 12:30 here on Eunice Sports YouTube.
And maybe it'll be a more normal game than this one was in terms of just odd things happening.
Oh, who wants normal?
But we definitely want to see good games here. We want everybody to feel like they leave it out on the field and that their season comes to a close in a satisfactory way. And so we say, good job, Eunice ladies, and safe travels to the team and the fans. And we'll continue to bring you state tournament action here and continue on. And tomorrow's game, of course, will be on Lovington Sports YouTube, the softball game. And the Eunice boys will be on Eunice Sports YouTube.
That is correct.
And, of course, on HobbsAmerica.com. For TJ Miracle, I'm Dawn Morgan saying so long. And we will talk again from the state tournament in Albuquerque.